I've got a screw on the bottom one here. That's for the switch mechanism that turns the switch on for the Bluetooth mod, which is hidden down here. So again, I'll talk about all that in a moment. So hopefully you can see all this. So this goes in here and up and over here like so, right? So you don't need to put too much tension on it right now. Just keep enough tension so that, the spring doesn't come out down here. If you're worried about the spring coming out, you can push that little tab in or tie it on there. Whatever works for you. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that both the pulleys are over this way. Again, we'll adjust this all later. All right, so this should be at the stop, and this should be fully ganged at this point. And then this here goes over the top and around one turn, like so. So I'll zoom you in. Maybe you can see this a bit better if I zoom in. So this goes over the top, like this, around one turn, like so. And then it goes through this area right here, through the center, and then we have to do a turn or two around this. Okay, so you see how it's already trying to turn this back? So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this right up at the top. We want them both at the stops. And then what I'm going to do now, make sure this doesn't pop off, is pull that nice and tight. So now you see we have spring tension on there. That spring tension here. Always a good idea to be wearing glasses when you're doing this as well. I'm going to put my finger there and hold this tight. You can see that? So I'll put one turn around here. Normally I've got this facing me, so this might be a little bit more difficult the way I'm doing it because I'm trying to show you this on camera. Let's see, put a turn around here, like so. Struggle with this a bit so that I can display this. And maybe say a few turns. So I'll go here. String isn't like wire. It doesn't like to fold form when you turn it. So put two turns around here like so. Now don't worry about this. You are going to lose some tension, so usually I pull it as far as I can back, and then you are going to lose some tension. So now that you're done with this, make sure that you're not jumping over the actual string. Okay, so now that we're here, now comes the fun part. You want to hold this, put this on here like so. A lot of the time, you might even be able to get just a bit more tension. A lot of the times, once you put the wraps around here, the actual tension itself, you're pretty much done at that point. You really can't do much more unless you let all of the string tension off. And if you do that, then you're going to create a bit of pain for yourself. So what you want to do is put a piece of this silicone wire without it falling into the radio like so on here. So let's see if I can do this without. Again, this is much more difficult to do on camera than it is if you're not doing it on camera. So hold this like so, okay, and then I'm going to put this on here and squeeze that on there. So now you can let the spring tension off because it's holding everything on here. Okay, so now that that's done, I'll put something under here to hold this so you can see what's happening here. So now that that's on there like so, this is fine. Again, this can all be moved, all right? Hold this up so you can see this. Again, pardon the focus and everything else here. As I say, this is tough to do on camera because my hands have got to be here and I can't watch exactly what's happening on the camera. So now we need to put a few turns around here. Okay. So I'll go one, and you have to work behind. So you're working towards the chassis. So you go 1, 2, and 3. Now again, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the actual string isn't jumping over itself. So you want to make sure that the string itself, you can see here, move that up, zoom in, so that the string is all in a line here. So make sure that it's not jumping over itself. Now we're at the back side of the actual pulley here. So we've worked our way back, winding it like so. String goes on the bottom and then comes out like so. So since we're going to be putting that onto this pulley over here, this needs to go behind this one. So that you can't put it in front of it, it has to go behind. And you may be thinking, well, that's obvious, but when you're doing this, if this is sitting here and you start doing this, you're going to have an issue, right? It'll bind up. So what you want to do is make sure that's close to the front, because again, we're at the back of the pulley, so we're working towards the back side here. So this goes over like so on the back side, and then of course now we need to go behind this string, right? We need to go behind it again, like so. Now here's where the tweezers come in handy. So let's grab this down here, put this over here, like so. And then this is going to have to go in here. So we'll put this in here behind the string again. So we'll move this string forward and grab a pair of tweezers, pull that through. See, this is popping off. Can't be doing that. Okay, so put this back through here. Like so. Okay. So now that we got all this going on, put this back up here. Hopefully you can see everything. I don't know if you can or not. Probably not. So what I'll do now is hold this here. Okay. Back this up just a bit. So now what I'm going to do is turn this vice grip, and you'll see that spring here. And this will also give me more string on this end now. See, remember how we cut that much longer? Look what we're dealing with right now, right? Because everything has to be pulled tight. So it's always a good idea to leave yourself that extra string. And what I should do is hold this tight, make sure I got that little piece of wire out, because I'm going to need that wire. So, okay. So now that I've got this like so, I'm going to turn this, right? So now that I've got that like so, I'm going to turn this. Got plenty of spring tension on there. Make sure it's like so. Make sure everything is at its top. I'm going to grab that other piece of silicone wire that just took off. Put that right over here, right where this is coming into the actual pulley itself. So right here. I'm going to put that here. Hold that there. Oops. Hold that here. Put these on. And now I can let go of everything and relax. Look at that. Okay, so now that that's all done, the frustration is pretty much done. You can hold on to that and just let that sit. As long as you've got good tension on there, you're fine. Now that everything is done, what you want to do is put this through here again. So you can come through the back or through the front. I'll go through the back. Here. So I need to go through the back side of the spring and come forward. And again, hopefully this is all on camera. So we'll see here. Of course, when your hand's in funny positions and you're trying to make all of this happen, you're dealing with all that. And through the center of the loop here. And if you don't get it tight the first time, work on it until you get it tight. You see how there's a bit of slack here? I don't want that slack there, so I'll open this up like so, and work on it a few times here until I can get that slack out of there. So that's the fun part, is getting this little knot tight when it's so close, right? A lot of the times is where the actual tension is. Again, you can relax while you're doing this, because at this point, pretty much all the frustration is over. You've got all the tension on everything, and everything's just being held for you while you're actually doing this. And that's pretty good, but let's see if we can get it just a touch tighter. Again, the actual knot itself, keeping everything super tight in here is a really good thing, because this will just the more slack you leave in this, of course, the more it's going to, the tension will be gone. You know, the tension will lower as this is all happening. And of course, it does help to put this on here. Okay, that's pretty good at this point. So now, once you're done with this, you got everything like so. What you want to do is put an extra little bit of glue on here. Again, don't frustrate yourself, have everything ready to go. Dab it on there a little bit, hit it with some accelerator. That accelerator's gone in just seconds. So, clip that off. You don't really need to worry about hitting it with a soldering iron at the exact moment that you do it, but, you know, since I'm here, I'll just touch it. Okay. Again, don't forget to add solder to your soldering iron tip once you've done that a couple of times, because you don't want the, right, I call that junk solder. Just add junk solder to it. So now what we're going to do is let the tension off, and let the tension off, just like so. And again, since you've pulled this tight, you will lose some tension on there. And there we do. Now what we need to do is make sure the travel is even. If it's not, you can hold this, move this a little bit, and it will even out. That's the nice thing about that spring system. So there we go. Look at that. Nice and smooth, full travel from end to end. And there we go. The dial string is now complete. No binding. You want to check that, you know, to make sure that you haven't, you know, crossed anything down here or anything on the other pulley. And away you go. So one of the things that has to be done in the end is, you can see